Hey, what's up guys? It's Halfway, broadcasting from around the world in phenomenal Penh, Cambodia. And today guys, we're going to be talking about being nervous before you come to Cambodia, before you move here. So now, obviously, if you're a well-seasoned teacher or a well-seasoned traveler, coming to a new country, coming to a new region of the world is not that, it's not as big of a deal for you if you're already used to that. But if you're somebody who, for example, lived in the US their entire life, especially if you've only lived in like one location, or if you've lived, in whatever your home country is, but you've only lived in one place for your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're coming to this like new weird world, it could make you like a little bit nervous at first, give you a little bit of anxiety before it happens. And again, especially coming from the US, because if you're in America and you are thinking to yourself, I want to go to the furthest possible place that I can possibly go, this is basically it. Just Asia in general, this side of the world, this hemisphere, but we're literally on the opposite side of the earth than the US. And also not just physically, but culturally. Culturally, it's just, a little bit different. And just the way everything is and looks and architecture, everything is just it's almost as different as you can possibly get from the US. Because even if you're in North America, if you're living in, US, Canada, whatever, and you go to Central or South America, like obviously there will be cultural differences and some things will be different, but you're still so close to the US that America still has so much of a presence there, that a lot of things, will definitely be different, but not as different as if you're, coming across the world. So, first of all, that's normal. So if you're thinking about doing this, if you haven't made the decision to move to Cambodia, you haven't made the decision to come here and teach English, think about that decision. But remember, you can definitely do it. Don't let your anxiety, don't let your stress about it supersede your desire to want to do it. And also, if you've already made the commitment, maybe you booked a plane ticket, you booked your flight already, and you're, getting ready to come. Don't get cold feet. Don't back out. Like, you've already made the commitment. You already have it in your mind. You want to do it. You can do it, I'm sure. Now, especially if you're a native English speaker, that's going to be your best. That's going to be your best bet here. If you're coming here to teach English, being a native speaker is absolutely going to be your best bet. It's what's gonna, put you at the head of the game. Especially also if you're a female native English speaker. I've spoken about this before. Female native English speakers are the most desired candidate that schools will have. But also if you're a male and you're a native English speaker, definitely the opportunity is still vastly here. If you're not a native English speaker, the opportunity is still here. However, if you're not a native English speaker, either A, maybe if you've lived, say you're from country X that's not a native English speaking country, and then you've moved to Australia and you've lived in Australia 90% of your life. So even though technically you weren't born as a native English speaker, or you weren't born in a country that the first language is English, if you've resided in a country that the national language or the common language is English, you probably picked up on it enough that you can speak as well as a native English speaker, or very, very close. Also, if you're not a native English speaker, but you have a lot of training, if you have, university degree, where you've, specifically been studying English and you have some nice TEFL courses under your belt, any of that kind of stuff, you can still come here and do that. Now, I've spoken about this in other videos. If you're not a native English speaker, is it possible you're going to be taking a pay cut as compared to what a native English speaker makes? It's very likely, it's very possible, so be prepared for that. I can't give you any facts or figures as to exactly what you would be making, but I would imagine it's probably not, again, unless you have excellent certifications, or if you've, predominantly the vast majority of your life been in a native English speaking country, you're probably going to not make as much money as a native English speaker. Naturally, because the reason native English speakers are getting hired is because the parents and the schools want the children to learn natively from a native speaker how to speak English naturally. So it makes sense that, you know, that those are the candidates that are more sought after. But yeah, so don't, again, either if you are a native English speaker, if you're having second thoughts, if you're nervous, definitely come. Another question that people ask me a lot are older people who are coming here to teach. Again, same thing. A younger candidate is probably going to be more sought after, but there are plenty of teachers that are, you know, older teachers, so don't let that necessarily dissuade you from wanting to come or recognize your dream. If you're a native English speaker, even if you're a little bit older, I'm sure you will definitely still be able to find work. Especially if you have like a vibrant personality, if you're like, you know, the cool, awesome grandpa, even if you're not a grandpa, but like, as long as you have like a good personality. Remember, teaching, especially if you're teaching younger kids, part of what you're doing is you're entertaining them kind of while you're teaching them. So you have to have like, you know, some energy and, you know, make the class interesting and exciting for them in some way. So keep that in mind also. And then also, like, I've spoken, again, in other videos, I've spoken about when you first get here, there's definitely a culture shock. There's definitely, it's different, man. It's a little bit different, but the longer you're here, those nuances and those small differences go away, and the vast majority of while you're here, you're just living your life again. That's all it is. You're here and you're living your life. The local people want the same exact thing you do. They want the same exact thing Americans want. They want a happy life, a happy family. You know, they want to make money. They want to have good industry. They want to be, you know, respected and treated well, and they want, you know, just have a good, comfortable life. There's zero difference in that aspect about living here or probably living anywhere else. Again, some things may look different, some things may sound different. The way things operate may be a little bit differently than what you are used to. But overall, after you get past the nuances and the small things, it's just living life. It's just living life again. So don't come here and expect any kind of miracle or anything. But also don't, again, and that should even be more supportive to you wanting to come here, because as different as it seems, as, you know, as far away as it seems, it's really not that different at the end of the day. It's literally not that different. Again, there's small details that are different, but the general aspect of life is still 100% exactly the same. So guys, yeah, definitely remember, you can come here, you can teach English, you know, have a decent life depending on, you know, your lifestyle that you want, and you know, just don't be so nervous about it. Naturally, you're going to be nervous and have anxiety before you make this giant adventure, this huge adventure that you're doing in your life. It's so natural to have anxiety. It's so natural to have butterflies in your stomach. But just don't let the butterflies overwhelm you. Don't let the anxiety, you know, dictate your life. You dictate your life. You know what I'm saying? The anxiety is part of the natural, you know, chemical response that we have. But remember that that's under your control. At the end of the day, you're the one that makes the decision of what you want to do. All right, guys, Halfway broadcasting from around the world. Don't forget to check in the description for all my links for the Facebook, so you can catch Facebook Live videos on Sunday. For my email if you want to get a hold of me directly, or for those Halfway Easy videos. All right, guys, this is Halfway broadcasting from around the world in amazing, phenomenal Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Peace, guys. Be easy.